Welcome back to the weekly Brooklyn Market Update brought to you by Engel & Volker's Brownstone Brooklyn. My name is Katriona Kearney and I'm joined again today by Donald, of course. Looks a little quiet out there on the streets this President's Week, Donald.
Yeah, it certainly is. At the long holiday weekend last weekend, I think some people are away on vacation. So nice little pause, pretty active so far early in the year. So people taking a breather. We'll see what happens when they get back.
So this week we're going to look at a very specific segment of the property market, those properties priced between 800,000 and 999,000. And the significance of that 999,000, as we know, is often mansion tax that comes in once you go above that number. So we're going to look at co-ops, condos and townhouses and see what the level of activity has been there for the past 9 months across the 16 key neighborhoods that we track in Brooklyn. Let's start by talking about neighborhoods. In which neighborhoods do you actually find the most co-ops, for instance, in this price range of $800,000 to $999,000, Donald?
Hands down, it's Park Slope. We had 123 deals going into contract over the last 9 months, with 102 of those closing. Next would be Clinton Hill, 56 going into contract, 29 closing. And then kind of a tie for third place with Prospect Heights and Brooklyn Heights, both showing 40 deals each in those neighborhoods going into contract, with 20 of those closing.
So obviously what you get for your money in this price range will vary significantly from neighborhood to neighborhood in terms of a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, the square footage, etc. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, bang for your buck as far as space goes, bedroom count goes. You're going to do quite well in Park Slope again. Prevalence of 2 bedrooms there, mostly co-ops in this price range. And then if you're looking for new condo product or even resales, you may be looking at Bed-Stuy for a 2-bedroom configuration. Williamsburg has an abundance of 1-bedrooms, so if that's a neighborhood that you're interested in, certainly you could find something there for sure.
And let's talk about condos specifically then, both the resale and the sponsor new development end of condos in this price range and what the level of activity is there.
Yeah, as I just mentioned, Bed-Stuy, very strong neighborhood for demand here in contract deals over the last 9 months. 174 condos going into contract, 122 of those are being sold. Williamsburg would be next with 158 going into a contract and 114 being sold. And then downtown Brooklyn closing up number 3 there, 116 going into contract and 41 of those closing.
So townhouses, of course, in this price range, there aren't that many neighborhoods where you're going to find them, but they are out there and they can be found. It's just that you have to know where to look, correct?
Certainly. As you know, there's been significant appreciation for the townhouse kind of market throughout Brooklyn over the last few decades. Real renaissance in townhouse ownership. Took a little bit of a pause there, late 2019. A little bit kind of a muted market activity, and then obviously the pandemic that we've all been dealing with. But so real strong kind of rebound out of that lull there, and so still, while the numbers have been going up, can still find a townhouse in this price range that we're talking about in Bed-Stuy and Bushwick are the 2 primary neighborhoods you might be able to find a home in this sub $1 million price range. And then also might have an opportunity still to find a townhouse in Clinton Hill at this price point as well.
So if we look back over these 9 months, I'm going to say, for instance, we were looking at charts and tracking the transaction volume, new to market, in contract and closed. What would it actually look like to us across this price range for these 3 asset types that we've been talking about?
Sure. So post kind of lockdown, New York stayed on pause here, which we kind of exited in mid-June. Real pop in inventory across the board for all price points, and then slowly buyer activity picking up a little bit after that. So sellers leading there with putting things back on the market. But buyers are really closing the gap quite quickly, especially at this price point. This price point since June has been the most active as far as number of deals go, again, across the board for all asset types, and then the neighborhoods where this product is predominantly available. And it's closed the gap pretty much by demand almost exceeding supply here. Definitely of new to market listings, those being absorbed just by numbers clearly, and then chipping away at the existing inventory, where both now are trending down because of lack of product. The in contract numbers going down because such few assets to choose from.
So that pithy question that we always get asked by existing clients and new clients, is it seller's market? Is it buyer's market? How would you answer that right now for this price range?
Yeah, this price point, for certain things, for sure, sellers have a little more leverage here than buyers. It seems to me so far that things have been priced right, and because of the evidence of such few days on the market of things being absorbed, and a lot of buyers here financing their purchases at this price point. And so that's a process that usually goes through an appraisal and so forth with the lender, and things are closing. This last week we had 81 deals going into contract below the 2.25, which obviously includes this price point that we're talking about. And that's a big number. That's one of the biggest numbers we've seen in the last 6 or 7 months. Only back in, I think, early November did we see 86 deals going into contract. And this price point, this 800 to just under $1 million, is one of the most active price ranges that we've been tracking. And that is not changed. And a little bit now, we're seeing a little bit of movement above this price point, where even more activity over $1 million, which is great to see, right? Strong confidence by what I think are a lot of first-time buyers trying to get established and investing in Brooklyn, investing in this price point that's kind of spreading a little bit north of the $1 million number, which is good to see.
So that's it from us this week. Check back in, of course, next week. Any final words for those people out there looking to sell or buy between $800,000 and $999,000?
Absolutely. As a reminder, no two things are the same around here usually, especially in the resales market. Not quite apples to apples. Also, a lot of speculation, or I've heard people, we hear the commentary a lot of like, my friend is sold or my neighbor is selling. They think it's worth this or that. That's all good information, but to really understand the value of where your home may trade on the sell side, you need a little bit more kind of due diligence and investigation in that. And we're happy to provide that to you. No problem whatsoever. And all in front of a commitment as well. Our advice is always free, and we're willing to share with you what we know. And then on the buy side, also, again, since we're so active on the selling side, we know exactly what's going on, what our expectations are, and we can certainly help you and support you in any kind of strategy you have to find what works for you. So just don't hesitate to reach out. No obligation here. Happy to talk to you, share with you what we know.
Great. Thank you, Donald, and see you next week. Bye.
Take care. Bye.